It's all you.
I want to thank Julie for, having the guts and the courage to say, I'm called to be the singer today, and I'm not feeling well, and the throat isn't cooperating, but I'm going to call, I'm going to stand in my power and my strength, and we're going to figure it out. Isn't that what it's all about? Yes? So the question I want to ask you all is, what are you called to be? There's something moving and stirring within your heart today. A dream, a vision, an idea. And it's calling and moving and saying, I'm standing at the door and knocking. The master teacher said, I stand at the door and knock. Ours is to walk forward, turn the handle, and open the door. We've been on a series of authenticity, beginning with authentic being, into authentic communication, authentic relationship, and then authentic action. It is authentic action to turn the handle and say, okay, I'm ready. So I want to start with a story. There was a riverman, a ferryman who had spent his whole career taking people from one side of the river to the other in his rowboat. His whole life. But nobody ever asked him the whole time that he was doing that why he had two words on those oars. One oar had the word faith on it. The other oar had the word work on it. And the people that had taken advantage of this man's work his whole life finally said before he retires, we have to ask him. And rather than answer with words, the ferryman said, I will show you. And he took the oar that had the word work on it, and he put it in the bottom of his skiff. And he said, let's set out across the river with the faith oar. And sure enough, all they did was go in circles, subject to the tides of the river that carried them downstream, never reaching the destination. But he wasn't done. He took the oar that said faith on it, and he put it in the bottom of the boat, and then he picked up the one that said work. And he began to row. Of course, it was the same effect. Subject to the whims of the river, never making it to the destination. And then he picked up both oars. Faith and work, and with ease, with grace, with peace, he made it to the other side of the river. That's the great analogy and metaphor I want to use today for whatever dream is in your heart. Whatever vision is there, it's going to take both faith and it's going to take a heck of a lot of work. It says in the book of James, which is one of my favorite books in the Newer Testament. Put that up there for me. James chapter 2. I believe it's verse 17 or 14. There we go, 17. Let's read it together. Faith without works is dead. You ever know anybody who was so spiritual that they were of no earthly good? Living in their cave of spirituality, practicing the deep, deep faith, but never got anything done. Those people are absolutely on the planet, and they was called out back in Jesus' time. The apostles were calling people out that your faith is no good to anybody if you're not acting upon it. But the reverse is absolutely also true, isn't it? Ever known paper shufflers? There's a whole lot of paper shufflers in this world. Reverse that. Works without faith is dead. Without a context of spirituality, of a power and energy and a magnificence underneath what you are doing, you're just becoming a human doing, and you're not a human being. Nothing gets done. Meaningless life, meaningless ritual, meaningless routines and patterns that take us nowhere, and you're spinning in the river, letting the current of the humanity, the world as we see it, take you down the river. Let me tell you, this week, if nothing gets to your head more than this idea that you are called to put your faith into the ultimate vibration and to then get behind it. You have a body not by accident, but to get to work. And sometimes we are criticized as spiritual people. Another 12 people lose their life. Oh, let's pray for the people of the Tree of Life Synagogue. It's vitally important, but it is only half the energy. And so we need to ask the question today, what are we doing to put our bodies behind stopping hate where we find it? I'm not saying put your body in the way of a bullet, but bullets take the form of words many times. Bullets take the form of hate that is in our field at all times. And we no longer can sit quietly and go, it's somebody else's job to take care of that. Let me go sit in my closet and pray. Yes, go sit in your closet and pray and then get busy. Put some feet behind your prayers. Put some activity and get across the river. And I have great hope that if we do this together, we will row the boat to where it needs to go. The dreams will be realized, and shootings in holy temples of worship will be a thing of the past. It has to be, and I have hope that it is possible. But it's not going to happen with a team of people that only do half the equation. Let's pray. And then forget about it and go into our day-to-day lives. Hate must be stopped by our actions as well as our faith. It says, Ernest Hemingway, great author, he puts it this way. Let's put the next quote up there. Let's read it together. Never confuse movement with action. You know, paper shufflers, this mindless doing, and I am as guilty as anybody, mindless doings doesn't get anything done. And there's a difference between motion and action. You're moving down the river. The boat is floating down the river. There's motion, but there's a distinct difference between action and movement. Movement is basically physical movement between point A and point B. There's something happening. Action is something that is done with a clear intention, a clear purpose, an authentic sense of being, an authentic understanding that the mundane act that you are doing has something greater behind it, a greater purpose and a greater intention. You see, faith is not just a noun. And so many religious people have contextualized faith as a noun. And I'm submitting to you today that faith is a verb. And at a greater and more deeper and profound level, faith is an active consciousness. Faith without works is dead. Get some feet under your prayers and under your meditations. Anybody notice that we have a fascination in this country with zombies? I thought it would be interesting around Halloween to talk about zombies. I tell you, you can go 100 different places on the TV. I looked very carefully to find a zombie picture that was not going to make me throw up. This one was the least bloody of them all. But there's a fascination with zombies, and I think it's because we're looking into the mirror of what's happening with our culture to a great degree. Yes? You go to movies, you go to TV, you can find zombies everywhere. And I thought, well, let me talk about what zombies represent. Here's my humble opinion about that. Unconscious movement with the end result being nothing more than the mindless eating of humanity. That's what zombies are all about. Let me read it again. Where is it? Mindless, I know it's here somewhere. Unconscious beings performing endless tasks, spinning in circles, looking for nothing else but the mindless eating of humanity. You don't have to look to movies or to TVs to find zombies. And it may not look the same, as it does in that picture, but underneath, there's a rotting, stinking consciousness that needs to be looked at. And I asked you all at the beginning of this series to go stand in front of the mirror and stand naked and to look at the good, the bad, and the ugly. How many of you actually did that? About a third. Your time's up. Do it today. But the reality is, if I am living an authentic life, I need to come face to face with any zombie energy that I am playing. Any fascination I have with just getting through the day, check, 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 to consume the endless minutes of precious life that is every second that I get to breathe. How many of you have ever found yourself at the end of the day knowing you got a lot done, but you weren't engaged or invested in any of it? That's living life as a zombie. And I'm saying the time has come to heal our humanity and to heal our earth, that we have to be a heck of a lot more conscious than a zombie. We have a brain still. And so when we are consuming those precious gifts of life, those precious minutes, it needs to have an intention behind it, a purpose behind it. Otherwise, we might as well make a movie about the living dead, because that's exactly what we have done. Mindless human doings and not conscious human beings who have an intention. Today, I am calling for a conscious action, an authentic action that is moving us as a humanity, as a church, as individuals, from routine to ritual. I want you to make that, it's a huge chasm. Routine becomes ritual, from life as habit to life as a symbol. Is that possible? And what is it a symbol of? What is your life a symbol of is the big question of. Peace, harmony, love, a dream, a vision. Is it God? I think at the end of the day, your life is a symbol of God, and you're either cooperating with that notion or you're not. You're either living as the Christ or you're living as a zombie. There's no middle ground. There's no wiggle room. I know who I am authentically with my failings, with my light and my goodness, or I'm mindlessly consuming the minutes that have been handed to me, the life that has been given to me. So we've been having this dialogue about authentic being, Let me put the graphic up there. I played this week about why it is that dreams die when it comes to authentic action. And so I created this. We started our journey with authentic being. Okay, we like to talk about ourselves in metaphysics. In New Thought churches, we love to talk about ourselves. Many people want to stay there, but that's a dead sea. So then we went to week 2, authentic relationship, authentic communication. How do I take every piece of my field of who I am into the relationships in my life and speak openly and honestly and quit the lies? This is who I am with my good and my failings. Then we start the climb. On that triangle is the climb. You know, enlightenment, I've heard it said that enlightenment is missed by most people because it looks like hard work and it comes in wearing overalls. And we get about halfway up that towards authentic action and something kicks in. It's usually fear. It's usually fear of something, and we quit the work, we quit the activity, and we slide back down. And what I find in New Thought churches and New Thought movements is they spend a heck of a lot of time between authentic being and authentic relationship, and it absolutely does not complete the cycle. Something is missing. And if you want to be an enlightened zombie, that's where you're going to hang out. Mindlessly talking, I get real, I get fake. I get real, I get fake. I take it into my relationships, and then I take it back because there's no action behind it. You have a body, not by accident. This earth school is a divine appointment, and we are called to get busy with that body in our day-to-day actions, infused with a deeper understanding that they have a purpose, and that is authentic action. And let me assure you that if you get to the place of authentic action, it's smooth sailing back to your being. It's a nice, smooth slide so that the process. But let me tell you, the spirituality is not for the faint of heart. It is not for the weak, unless all you want to be is a zombie. We must complete the triangle. I was playing a song this week as I was preparing for today's talk, and I was instructed that it was not the person that had sung it that I thought. It was actually Olivia Newton-John. And I think, boy, there's a lot of physical, spiritual meat in the song, let's get physical, physical. I want to get physical. Here's the most important line. You don't know it? Are you all that much older than me? Let me hear your body talk. Your body talk. Jesus absolutely said the same thing. Let me hear your body talk. Oh, I'm getting passionate. We're not going to have a baptism, I promise. Let me hear your body talk. You shall be known by your fruits. Talk is cheap. Jesus said, I don't want to hear about your pretty theories. I don't want to hear about your pretty faith. I want to see your pretty actions that put faith and work, faith and hard work and action into the same field at the same time as partners dancing. Dancing together. Show me the money. Show me the good. Show me the healing. Show me the courage. Don't just talk about it anymore. All right. I can always count on Atiba for my amen corner. I'm working up to amen. All I've got is an all right now. How many of you remember, you're my age or a little bit older, you remember the high school dances where the guys were on one side of the room and the gals were on the other side of the room? I danced with a lot of those girls in my head. Desperately wanting to cross the room, and it looked like this sometimes. Maybe a little bit farther, but the reality is I never got to dance because I didn't have the guts to just simply cross the room and take the action. Why? Because there was a fear of failure. There was a fear of rejection. There was a fear of shame. I had to deal with the shame anyway, because that walk of shame, when you don't make it across the room and you turn around, loser. And then there was the fear that maybe she'll say yes, holy mackerel. Then I'm going to expose the fact that I'm a lousy dancer. The universe is always saying yes. And that hard work and that action up the side of that triangle is usually a fear that the universe is saying yes, and I can't handle myself. If you're being in authenticity with yourself as the divine essence of Christ and not a zombie, you will keep walking and deal with whatever might be on the other side of the room. Something's calling you today to walk across the room and ask something to dance. Somebody to dance. An energy, a dream, and a vision. And I like to sing the song, I feel the fear and do it anyway. Sing that with me. I feel the fear and do it anyway. I can't hear you. I feel the fear and do it anyway. I feel the fear and do it anyway. I'm asking you to sing that song this week, to complete the cycle of this series and to feel whatever you need to feel, but not be defined by it, and to keep walking. And to know that there is a universe is for you. If God is for you, nothing can be against you. Not the girl on the other end of the dance floor. Not the failure, not the shame. You will be lifted up. Life is a series of falling down and getting back up. Falling down and getting back up. It's not how many times you fall down. It's how many times you get back up. And each time you're stronger. Each time you're more authentically you. Each time you're less defined by fear. Authentic being is defined only by love. Does it mean that you're never going to fear? I can't promise that. You're going to have doubt. You're going to have shame. You're going to have embarrassment. You're going to have fear. And you're going to feel it all. And you're going to do it anyway. Otherwise, if you don't, you become a zombie. Otherwise, we have all we have in our spiritual context is unrealized and unmanifested possibilities as we spin through the river of life, allowing the winds of the human condition to take us downstream. There's something on the other shore that is valuable, and that dream is not in your heart by accident. It's not in your field by any kind of accident, but by a divine appointment. How dare you not pick up both the oars and row and put this magnificent gift of a body, although I have not been told that myself, to put this magnificent gift of the body and the time that you have been giving and quit being a consumer of the minutes, an endless consumer, and be a liver of the life that you have been destined to live. So, what room is calling you to cross today? Something more profound perhaps than a high school dance, I hope. But let me tell you, I coached somebody in the last couple of weeks who was playing small, and Diane and I held an interview this week. And this person for probably 15, 20 years has played small. I'm not going to mention them by name, but I can't tell you how proud I am of this person. Because they walked into a job interview with me and Diane this week, and she crossed the room. She crossed the room. This shrinking waif of a human being came up and said, "You need me. You need me. This job, I can do it better than anybody on the planet. I have the skill, I have the intellect, I have the talent, I have everything you need, and it would be a disservice to this community if you don't hire me." When she left the room and Diane was leaving my office, and she turned to me and she went, "Wow." Let me tell you, I've worked with Diane long enough, neither one of us say wow too easily. It was a wow moment. It was a moment of room crossing. I know that person was scared to death. Her knees were shaking the whole time she did it, but God, she did it. She was not going to be a zombie anymore. Crossing the proverbial room to say, I have an idea, I have a dream, and go find the investor. And don't be ashamed of the idea or the dream, but say, you can make this happen. We need to partner on this. Take an action to make the ask, to pick up the phone and make the phone call. That's in authenticity with the authentic being and the authentic community that you were called to create. It's crossing the room to say to somebody, you know what? I'm angry. What happened between us made me angry. I feel hurt. I feel frustrated. I feel upset. And if you're in partnership with your spirituality and the work, I want to heal this. Right now, there are people in your life that are waiting for you to get in the boat, get your faith into action, get it into work, and say, let's heal this. Let's put this behind us. And when I look at shootings at synagogues and churches around the country, how dare us not have the guts to simply go to somebody and say, I've been holding resentment about you for too long. We got to heal this. So it's crossing the proverbial room to take the action that says, I screwed up. I blew it. I'm asking for forgiveness. You screwed up. You screwed up big time. But I want to forgive you. How dare us look and talk about healing the planet when there's gun violence going on, but not take the simple act of healing the planet with one act at a time, one mundane, simple ask for forgiveness at a time. You know what else it is? It's crossing the proverbial room to dance with somebody you notice you're amazing. You are incredible and amazing. I notice your light shines so brightly, and you are transforming the planet by how you show up on this planet, and I'm going to tell you. My wife, I've shared this story before, she walked by a lady in the grocery store, and the woman stopped her and said, "You smell like a woman a man would want to come home to." Now, that's pretty odd. That's pretty weird. And let me tell you, the ripple effect of my wife carrying that energy has carried us into this day. And it's a running joke in our house. When we are in tenseness, that energy lives in me, and I say, "You smell like a woman a man would want to come home to. Let's heal this." She doesn't ever say that about me. Here's a reality. If you don't want to be a zombie, let life be your prayers in action. If you don't want to be a zombie, let your meditations, the meditations of your heart, be in motion. If you don't want to be a zombie, then let your pretty little theories have feet under them. And understand that the mundane tasks of day, going shopping in the grocery store, driving to work, doing the dishes, every single one of these moments is a stepping stone, a puzzle piece, and a necessary component to the fullness of God expression. Nothing less. I want you to hear that. We think, oh, this dream is so small. Washing the dishes is important to the fulfillment of your dream more than going and get as much as getting the investment. It's crossing the room to say, "I'm just going to do it." Right now, there's just do it energy. The still small voice of God is speaking within you, just do it. And I'm saying in partnership with faith and work, just do it, and do it with great love. Do it with great passion. And therefore, the Christ and your humanness come together in a great demonstration of what is possible on the planet. So let's not spend our time circling the river. "I'm the Christ, I'm the Christ, I'm the Christ." It's time to stop flapping our gums about being the Christ and to start being the Christ. I want you to hear that. It's time to stop flapping our gums that I am the Christ, I am the light. And New Thought people do that really well. It's time to start being the Christ in action and in form and in motion. You'll be known by your fruits, not your words or your pretty little theories. As authentic beings, in authentic relationship with the world, we have a responsibility to contextualize everything as a vehicle towards building a new vision, a new dream, a new reality, mine, yours, and humanity's as a whole. You're not off the hook. You are responsible. And our job as individuals is to quit waiting around for a Messiah to come to take the responsibility and start being the Messiah. Our job is to quit waiting for somebody, some hero, to come into the scene and start being the hero, and that means putting one foot in front of the other and walking across the room. Start building the bridge across the river if you don't want to row. Mundane acts become no less than a burning bowl or white stone ceremony when ritual is brought to the mindset. Can it be? We love our burning bowl. Don't we love our burning bowl ceremony? This place is full to overflowing because we have a ritual. And the white stone is even bigger. Oh, we're going to have a ritual. I'm saying contextualize your life as a ritual. Getting up in the morning, make it a ritual of not just doing what you have to do, but clothes on, take a shower, brush your teeth, but to go, I'm preparing myself and this beautiful instrument of God being an expression to go out into the world and to make the world a better place. Can you contextualize the simple, stupid acts that are mindless in your life, driving to work tomorrow, and contextualize it in such a way that it becomes more meaningful? Those of you who know me know I don't like to drive much. I do not like being in the car. My wife loves being in the car. And she gave me a gift. She's my teacher. You picking that up today? She's a wonderful teacher in my life. We used to have to drive an hour and 15 minutes to get to church. Windy, 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 windy roads. And I would curse it. Every Sunday I prepared myself to be a zombie when I arrived at church. God, this is so long. Why do we go so far to have to go to church? It's just, oh, I hate it. My butt's hurting. My back hurts. Blah, 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 blah. Would you like a little cheese with your wine? And she said, hey, let's play a game. Let's play a game. She said, how about we have virtual happy dust? And everybody that passes us on the road, we send a little happy dust to them. Every house we pass, we're going to throw a little happy dust on them. And we would actually turn the flashers on. We'd be driving on this windy road. People thought we were stalled. No, we're fine. We just love you. Everything shifted. Suddenly, my butt didn't hurt anymore. Suddenly, my back didn't hurt anymore because I was consciously making the drive for an hour and 15 minutes to church a ritual, a practice, an opportunity to do something energetically greater than just driving to church. You know, you all know me. I'm an introvert through and through. And I think it's no accident that my friends Joel and Marianne Blackford came today, because I want to share something they gave me, another context. It's difficult for me to come, I'm being authentic, to come and be in this many people and to sustain the energy from 7 o'clock in the morning until sometimes 5 o'clock when I leave this place. The introvert gets into panic mode. Joel and Marianne talked about in a service over at Unity of Kennesaw about calling in the angels, having a conversation with angels. And the only way I can do my job today is because they taught me how to call in energies outside of myself so that I could make my life, my drive here to church, something more meaningful. I have conversations before I leave my garage with every person who has ever blessed my life, who has passed on to the other dimension. And I call them in. Help me get through this. Give me the energies I need. And then every house I pass, between home and here on Sunday morning, I send an angel. Go take care of that family today. Go take that family. Every business, may that business prosper. May that business be filled to overflowing with love. And then I go through and send an angel to every square inch of this building so that it makes my life so much easier. That simple little ritual allows me to be more fully present to the moment, to the talk, the sitting there while somebody is singing, to the greeting you at the door. It's contextualized. I rise to a higher vibration, transcending my introversion, transcending my anxiety, because I'm surrounded by a multitude of angels with and without skin on. And something beautiful happens. And the only thing that changed was the move from my routine to a consciousness of ritual. And I believe that we are called to do that. So Joel and Marianne, raise your hands so they know who you are. You are two angels for me. Not quite as much an angel as my wife, but really close. Carl Jung said in 1939, let's put the quote up there. I don't know if you can read that. If you can, please join me. Man is in need of a symbolic life, badly in need. We only live banal, ordinary, rational, or irrational things. But we have no symbolic life. Where do we live symbolically? Nowhere, except where we participate in the ritual of life. I'm asking you this week to put burning bowl energy into washing the dishes, to put white stone ceremony into vacuuming the floor. You know, we mark our human journey with all kinds of wonderful things. Sometimes they feel good, sometimes they don't, but we mark it with a ritual. I'm saying mark every emotion, mark every thought, mark every action as a ritual and an opportunity to transcend from one energy to another energy as you cross the room and you cross the river. Rituals basically do one thing. They allow us to amplify our ability to hold the simultaneous awareness of our divine nature, yes, you are the Christ, with the environment that you are in. Simultaneously, ritual allows you to recognize that there's more going on beneath the surface, but I'm having a human experience. I'm having a human experience, but I am not and will not be defined by it. But I will put the work in because I'm not going to try and check out of the human experience. My faith and my action are necessary components for the symbol of God that I am, the symbol of truth that I am, the symbol of love, peace, and joy. I'm inviting you this week as we get ready to go into a meditation to use symbolic being, ritualistic being to claim and initiate authentic action within the environment of whatever is before you. Within the environment of whatever your life is showing you, I'm asking you to invoke a consciousness that says, I'm willing to go make the ask, to make the phone call, and to use my life as a symbol for God and nothing less. Take the step. Across the room. I want to invite somebody up. Again, I am so blessed to get to hang out with people like the woman who interviewed for the job, and Holly and Jeff Harden, who have become very, very good friends here in this community. Come on up, you guys. And they reminded me how beautiful this place is. They have a very earth-centric tradition. Can we get them a mic? Holly's probably going to do most of the talking, so give it to her first. But they came to me looking in East Cobb for some place where they, with a pagan, earth-based, Celtic spirituality, could find a place of home. They didn't find it anywhere. They did not find it here either. Yet they had a decision and a choice to make. Run, hide, be angry, be upset.